Rebecca Schrag, and I did research on vegetation, predating, and postdating the 2017 Tubbs Fire in Sonoma County, California. Wildfires are an important part of our history. They have been occurring for over 2 million years, and it is thought that they were crucial in the evolution of humans to being bipedal. Part of the history of wildfires is that they would create open areas in the canopy cover, which created niches for other species to come in and photosynthesize in those areas where canopy cover became available. Then you would get omnivores and herbivores coming in to feed off of those species and increasing biodiversity. One way of thinking about this is current prairies, where we burn prairies to increase different species being able to have space to grow. Wildfires are also important for regulation. Native Americans would use fire as a way to control flea populations. It's also thought that wildfires help with parasite reduction and decrease mosquito populations, which also decrease disease. Wildfires are also important in water regulation. As trees and vegetation burn, more water can run into wells and springs and regenerate those populations of water. They also allow for snow to accumulate, and as snow melts, it'll slowly release that water to become available for use, rather than all flowing at once and causing flooding issues. Another regulation service that wildfires do are carbon. Even though it's counterintuitive that carbon, burns in a wildfire and is released, after a wildfire, a lot of different species can fixate carbon back into the soil. And so while it may not decrease carbon, it regulates the carbon cycle and creates a smoother transition. Wildfires are also important for cultural services. They are important for ecotourism. If we think of the savannas and safaris that are available, those would not be possible without wildfires. There's also disturbance research and disturbance theory research that takes effect after wildfires. It's an important part of learning about disturbance. And as I mentioned earlier, wildfires are also important for human evolution into bipedals. According to Lenahan et al. 2006, they used vegetation models to look at wildfires, and what they found is that wildfires will continue to grow in the future, both in terms of how much biomass will burn, also in the land mass that will burn. So they'll be larger and more intense, and thus they'll be more expensive. Wildfires are an important topic to talk about for environmental justice. As people are able to prepare and move and rebuild around a wildfire, they'll be better suited. However, there are lots of people who are not able to do those things, and so this becomes a justice issue. In another study in Copoletta 2016, they looked at vegetation and weather as a means for reburn for wildfires. And what they found is that while weather is a primary indicator of whether an area will reburn, vegetation also matters a lot. They found that in areas of a high severe burn, more snags and brush were left, and that was ample vegetation for another reburn. So Sonoma County is in California, and they have a 500,000 population. 60,000 acres are planted for grapes, and while that's only 6% of their land, it accounts for $2.2 billion for their tourism, for people to come wine tasting and see Sonoma County. So on the left is a picture by Justin Sullivan of after the Tubbs Fire. You can see all of the chimneys still intact and some of the burned cars. And on the right, it shows you the outline of the Tubbs Fire in Sonoma County. And in the top right, it shows you where the fire was in relation to the larger picture of California. So the Tubbs Fire started on October 8, 2017 at 9:43 p.m. And it is currently the 4th deadliest fire in California history, with taking 22 lives. It burned over 36,000 acres and 5,500 plus facilities, including homes and businesses. It cost $1.3 billion in repairs. And while historically wildfires have been important for numerous services, including biodiversity, without prescribed burns in the last hundreds of years, coupled with population growth and climate change, wildfires have become more cataclysmic, costly, and lethal. The research questions that I looked at in particular were, what impact did the Tubbs Fire have on vegetation cover and health? And was there one area within the Tubbs Fire that burned more severely? And if so, why? My methods included using Earth Explorer to get 2 Landsat 8 images. I used 2 filters, including less than 10% cloud cover and Tier 1 level collection, to get 2 images from before and after the fire. I then clipped those images to the Tubbs Fire outline, projected them using the WGS 1984 projection, and manipulated band combinations to look at vegetation coverage and health. I then did a normalized difference vegetation index, a differenced normalized difference vegetation index, a normalized burn ratio, and a differenced normalized burn ratio. So this image shows the Tubbs Fire with a DEM clip and a hillshade, just to look at elevation and the different landscape of the area where the Tubbs Fire burned. These images are pre and post the Tubbs Fire from Landsat 8. So this uses the band combinations 432 to look at the natural imagery. And on the left, you have the picture of before the fire from September 25, 2017. And then on the right, you have the image of after the fire from November 20th, 2017. And you can clearly see a difference in vegetation from these 2 images. Then I manipulated the band combinations to a 543, which is color infrared. And what this shows is that the brighter red is healthier vegetation, and you can clearly see a difference from before and after the fire. This slide shows the normalized difference vegetation index, and what you see is that before there's a lot more yellows and reds and a lot less green, whereas after the fire there is more green. In this image, the red shows healthier, denser vegetation, the yellow is non-vegetated or soil or bare earth, and the green shows snow, clouds, or water. Now my assumption is that after the fire there might have been some shadows casted on the mountains that might have caused a more green. However, you can still see a lack of red in the after picture. Then I did a normalized difference vegetation index, which shows the black area. It has changed from before and after according to the normalized difference vegetation index. And I noticed that it seemed to be on south and southwest facing hillsides, and so I put it on an aspect map just to kind of see how it appeared according to west or north facing hillsides. Then I did a normalized burn ratio map, and what this shows is red is healthy vegetation and beige is burned. So you can see from before the fire there's a lot of dark red, and there's some whites and some beiges that could be urban areas or bare soil. But then after the fire there's a lot less red. It's very clear that the vegetation has changed. Then I did a differenced normalized burn ratio, which is what's showing here. And what this image shows is that the red is a more severe burn, and the green is higher post-fire regrowth. So the darker the green, the more vegetation that was able to regrow in the 20 days that the Landsat image was taken after the fire was done burning. So there was a lot of regrowth that occurred after the fire, increasing biodiversity. In conclusion, what I found is that vegetation was highly affected from the fire. There was changes both in health and dispersion, but that there was also a lot of vegetation that came out of the fire. One of the reasons that vegetation might have been affected were westerlies that caused the west and southwest facing slopes to be more severely burned than the others. Another thing that might have happened is that on east-facing slopes in the morning, you have a lot of fog and dew, and so the east-facing slopes don't get quite as hot direct sun as, say, the west-facing slopes, when at night or in the evening, it's hotter and drier, and there's not as much atmospheric clouds or fog to prevent the sun from drying out the vegetation. So for further research, what I would love to look at is an area where the 2017 Tubbs Fire and the 2019 Kincaid Fire had an overlap. I think it would be really interesting to look at vegetation cover in that area and specifically look at species or types of forests in that area and how that might indicate what might reburn in the future and how we can learn from that for further urban areas. I would like to thank Unity College for access to ArcGIS. I want to thank my peers for the constructive criticism and excitement about my project, and my professor for always being there for my questions. Thank you.